Hey everybody, welcome to the Pysa Noel show, and I've been talking about Leah for so long, so I'm so happy I finally have her on here.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Leah Newton-Luftman. Did I say that last name right?
Yes.
Okay.
Luftman.
All right, Luftman. All right, so of course, as usual, I have an intro and then she can fill in some blanks. So, here we go. Leah Newton-Luftman is a product manager by trade, a mother, a leader, an incredible friend, a creative and extraordinary party and events planner, and the list goes on. She is the queen of our group of friends, and she consistently threw the best fun-filled creative parties. Any excuse to have a party, the Emmys, Super Bowl, Scandal Night, Game of Thrones night, anything, Leah would throw it. It's because of her that we now have a tight-knit LA family, as I call it, that can never be broken. I am inspired by Leah's determination, willingness, and openness to try something new in order to get what she wants, specifically in the field of dating and finding quote-unquote the one, which we will dive into more in a bit. I am also impressed with how she always has a job as a freelancer. That sister makes things happen. She is a queen and she got skills, and that's why I admire her and I love her. Without further ado, Leah Newton-Luftman. Yay! And then I always play the audience and be acting like it's a real show. Woo! Everybody. And applause, stop. And that's what I always do. So one day it'll be a real audience clapping. Okay. Oops, I'm about to knock over the set already.
Gosh, don't break stuff. Don't break stuff.
So, anyway, is there anything that you want to add to your intro?
Well, no, you pretty much covered it all. Thank you for those extra accolades that I was not expecting.
Yeah, I got to throw in the character in there. So I always have to tell.
You pretty much got me down.
Yeah, so and thank you for just being one of my first friends out here and, just exposing me to all the wonderful people. Like you guys have seen Krista already. She's one of the people in our group, and, we just really look up to her. And
how did we meet?
We met, I think, at church, but I think through Alan.
Yeah.
You had a party and he said, "Can I bring somebody?" Probably, yes. He probably did.
And I do remember meeting you like one Tuesday or Wednesday night after something.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the pews and I said something and you made a face and I was like, oh, was I not supposed to say that?
Oh, I did?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I didn't feel bad, but I was like,
okay.
I was like, oops. Whatever.
I'm surprised. I do
get
have
used
facials.
to me.
Yeah.
She'll get used to me.
Well, I'm just surprised because I always say all the stuff, so I'm like, I'm surprised that I gave you a look.
Okay. But I do remember, Alan, you knew Alan, and then I knew Alan, and yeah.
Yeah, so thanks Alan too, because he's the one that exposed me to the group. So, since I think the intro, she said I nailed it, so we're going to move on.
Nailed it.
Okay. So please tell me how it all started, where you're from, how you grew up, and how you got to LA and into your passion and talents out here.
Okay. So how it all started.
Yeah, kind of bullet points how it started and then how you got here.
Okay. So I was born in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I think we've had this conversation where we realized that we were born in the same hospital.
Yeah, like I don't know if you guys know, but I was actually born in Boston, Massachusetts, and raised in Charlotte. But a lot of people don't know that part.
Yep.
So
we were born in the same hospital, however many years
really
apart.
cool.
We don't need to talk about that. I'm older than Pysa. But anyway, born in Boston, Massachusetts. And, it was a great experience. Some really good schools there. Really a lot of culture, a lot of history. Not enough black people, in my opinion. So I was always looking to wherever I could find more black people, which was not in the suburbs where I grew up. I always wanted to go into the city and just see more color. I remember we used to go to a skating rink, a roller skating rink on weekends, just so we could meet black boys.
Okay.
But let me tell you where these black boys were from the Department of Youth Services. So they all had some sort of little juvenile record, which we didn't care. We just felt like they're black. They're black. I just want to skate with him on this one slow jam. So anyway, started in Boston. Decided for college that I needed to get out of the snow and the cold weather. So I ended up going to college in Florida.
Okay.
And spent 5 years there. It was a challenge there, having to balance partying in Miami with getting your schoolwork done.
Oh man, yeah. Were you one of those ones that took like a ton of credits at the in the first semester? Because my mom was like, just take 12. Take easy ones.
No, I took 12 easy ones. And
Okay,
I
good.
always tried to figure out how I could take easy ones.
Yeah, some more easy ones that fit everything.
Yeah, hence the 5-year plan, y'all. 5-year plan. There was no four
Nothing
years
wrong
of
with
college.
that.
So,
I was 4.5. So
yeah. So after college, I went back home to Boston, and I needed to just, save some money. So my parents were nice enough to let me come back. They let me come back. I stayed there, like I said, for 5 years, and then or 4 years, and then I came out to LA in 2004. It was like the day after the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Football fan here.
Yes, football fan. Go Patriots. Go. Yeah. Oh, never mind. We'll just stop.
Yeah, I don't know about that stuff. So I'm just like.
It came out in 2004, and I didn't have a job, but I saved up some money. And my brother actually was out here already at that time.
Wow.
And so he let me live with him. The only rule was that I needed to share a room with my 2-year-old nephew. That was a little challenging.
So wait, why did he live here? Why did he choose LA?
Because his girlfriend at the time lived here.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
he followed her.
Wow.
Yeah, so after 1 year, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Very appreciative of that, of just having that resource there to help me out when I needed it. And so when I moved here in 2004, like I said, no job, but I was able to spend about 5 months looking for the job that was like a good fit for me.
That's amazing.
I went on this interview at this advertising production company, and it was like a 6-hour interview, which is like the longest interview ever.
Yeah, those are insane.
But it was like a lot of fun. It was like, I think pretty much early on in the conversation we realized that it was going to be a good fit. So they were kind of showing me around, and gave me the impression that I would be back. So it was kind of like an interview and tour all in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I started. And the company that I worked for, they were doing billboards like for Times Square and these huge like things that you'd see like even on Sunset Boulevard, that would billboards that would like cover the sides of buildings and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
So for all of the studios, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Disney, all that kind of stuff. So it was, that was also a little bit of intro into the entertainment industry as well.
Cool. Wait, so what did you major in, and did you know you wanted to work in that field? Or?
No. I did study graphic design a little bit, but my major was actually communications. I thought I was going to be like a journalist.
Oh, wow. Very cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I just was like, I need to get out of here and not waste my parents' money. But when I moved actually back home, I worked in finance for Hewlett Packard, which was so not... I don't know, I was kind of burnt out on communications and, the bit of like art studies that I had, I was like, I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And so I had family that worked for Hewlett Packard, and they got me a job in their finance department. So it was like, all right, it was easy work, it was boring work, it was mindless work, but it was a paycheck and allowed me to have some money so I could still continue to go out with my friends on the weekend.
Yep.
So...
always have that balance. That's good though.
Yeah, but after 4 years of doing that, I realized that was not what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And then I also think, being out in California and being exposed to advertising and entertainment out here is way different than trying to pursue that, in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. So there's something just kind of, I think, like inspiring or infectious out here. You're surrounded by all these creative people, no matter what they do. If they're actors or dancers or singers, they're just, they're creative people. A lot of them are they're working for themselves, they're their own entrepreneur, so they've got to be on fire and motivated all the time. And so that was really good for me to see in people that I was meeting out here in LA. Yeah, it was good for me to be around. So, I was happy to be able to get a job, like I said, within like 5 or 6 months, and I had a friend over one Sunday night, and I said, "Why are you coming to my house?" Like, she brought a friend with her. I said, "Why should date coming with a suit on at like 7 o'clock on a Sunday?" And he said, "Oh, I came." Yeah, he said I came from an evening service at this church down the street called One Church International. I said, "Oh,
shoot,
okay." I was like, "It's down the street." Like, oh, black people too, okay. So the next weekend was Easter. So I decided to go, and it was me and probably like 10, 15 people in the church at that time. But I really liked it. I liked the service, and then I stayed and I never left, and then that parlayed into what, I guess like 9 years of attending that church and meeting some really wonderful people, including Pysa along the way. Yep.
Krista.
Yep, and several other women and a couple guys who have been, become really great friends.
Because is that where you met Alan too?
Yep, that's where I met Alan.
So, yeah, he actually brought a lot of us together, so that's cool too.
Yep. So, shout out to Alan.
Shout out. Shout out. All right, so you worked for the advertising company, and then now are you doing the same thing? Or?
No, I'm working in a related field. In advertising, which is, closely related to marketing, it could go a lot of different ways. So in advertising, it always starts with a team of creative people coming up with a big idea or a concept.
Okay.
That has to be pitched to whoever the client is or whoever is considered like the client within your company. And once the decision is made, like how you're going to bring a certain campaign to life, then you have to figure out how it's going to get made. So sometimes I've worked with, video production companies, I've worked with print production companies, all in the name of bringing that concept that's on paper, bringing that to life.
Cool.
So,
very neat.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we want to get into some nitty gritty, because one of the main reasons I invited you was because I'm just so intrigued by like your story, and I kept talking about how we were this nice family and had all these events and parties and stuff, and she was just always you have boyfriends here and there, but a lot of times it was like my single friend, and she'll be a great mom, but we really like her being the mom of our group. And it was like within like 2 months or something, your life suddenly turned around, and it was like, it became like the single leader of the group, and then she became like, taken, and then she became a mom, booed up, and then, a mom, and like, currently she's the soccer mom. All that stuff seemed like it happened within a year. She got married, and, I just really admired it, and it was different than what we thought it would look like.
Yeah.
But
not the traditional journey, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, dating in LA, y'all already know, it is a hot mess.
It's hard. I've been asking everybody about their journey.
It's really hard. It's really hard to date in LA. I feel, LA is such the town is pretty much made up of the industry, the entertainment industry, and people are seeking like the benefits of being part of that industry. So I feel as a result, it's very materialistic. People are expecting or looking, to have like a supermodel on their shoulder all the time, or on their arms, or the guys think they need to, drive like the best car in order to get attention from a female. Maybe that is the case with some people, but that's certainly not how I look at things.
Right.
I am 5'2". I am not a supermodel. I'm not a supermodel tall. I think I'm nice looking, but I could have cared less about what a guy was driving, as long as, he had goals and ambition. I think to me that made more of a difference than, material things. So, but, it's just really hard to find like a authentic, genuine, sincere guy. And maybe other people have that experience too in other parts of the country. Maybe that's just part of being in your 20s and 30s. But, nonetheless, I was out here for, 12 years, I think 12 years, and maybe 11. Found no one. I dated a few people, but no one longer than 6 months, and no one that I said I love you to, never got that deep. So, then fast forward to one day in, I think it was probably October 2014. I had downloaded this app called Tinder.
Oh, we talked about that one.
Tinder. Everyone's like, that's the hookup app. I'm like, no, it's not.
That's what I always say, but some other people have had some good stories.
Yeah,
about Tinder,
I think Tinder is just very, whatever purpose you're using it for, it's good because you can be very direct and kind of weed out, you know,
All the BS.
yeah, just all the crap, and people just tend to get right to the point of what they're looking for. So if they're looking for sex, then they don't feel bad about asking, you know, for that pretty immediately, you know, and then you just say, that's not what I'm interested in giving. Bye. You know, no.
Good to know. Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Y'all hear that? Good to know.
So, but you know, I remember I actually would read people's profiles, not just look at the pictures or whatever. I would read people's profiles and see like who sounded like they could have some potential there. But I had probably been on the app for like a year and really like hadn't met, you know, obviously hadn't met anyone like significant on there. And then I had deleted the app a few times because I was like, I'm tired of this. You know,
everybody goes through that.
Yeah. And then I was about to delete the app again, but I swiped right on this one guy. He was from the Midwest. His profile said, I was like, okay, you know, stereotype about the Midwest is just, you know, they're like close with their family and things like that. They got some good values. So I was like, okay. And then it said that he liked to cook. I was like, oh, I like to eat. Great, great. And it just, overall, it just sounded, he just sounded like a regular dude. There was no, his profile didn't come off as cocky, just very like down to earth. So I swiped right. And he had already swiped on me, so we were a match.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then he sent me the first message not too long after we matched. You know, there was no like, oh, let me make her wait it out.
Yeah, all those games, I can't take it.
No games, no games. So, so his name is Joel. And he sent me the first message. I think I still have the screenshots of our very first like conversation, our very first interaction. And we talked on the phone. Actually, I take that back. We got to talking on the phone, but the very first weekend that we were in communication, he was driving to San Diego, which is like a 2-hour drive from where we live, and he was texting me the entire time, like voice texting me. So
I was like, wait a minute.
I know, right? 2 hours of just, you know, back and forth, and this was like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. I was like, whoa. Why am I awake? But it was, you know, it was great conversation, even if it was via text. You know, I still felt like he was, you know, just being open. He was asking me questions, you know, acting interested.
That's awesome.
So it was a very like interactive conversation. It wasn't one-sided at all. And so
that's so unique. I've never heard of that. And it's a great idea though, since he was driving and then it was all voice text. Wow, I've never heard of that.
Yep. So
that's so cool.
And then we finally did get into talking. We actually spoke on the phone like the next day, and that was nice too. I was like, okay, he does not sound like a crazy person, so that's good. And then we made a plan to go on a date like the following week, and I don't know if I had a brunch with you all that day. It was a Sunday. I don't know if you were there. I made those bomb frittatas.
I don't think so.
Okay, well you missed out. It was good. I still remember them. But anyway, so I told him, I said, well, we can't do anything in the daytime because I had plans with my girlfriends. Was not going to cancel plans with my girls for a dude. So
that's nice.
So we decided to go out. First date was at Castle Park in Sherman Oaks, mini golf. So, you know, Sunday evening is very casual. He dropped like the golf club on my toe at one point, which I was like, oh my God.
Come on now, Joel. Come on now.
I thought he broke my toe. I thought he broke my toenail. It was a mess. He said, ay, ay, ay. I was like, people really say that, like in real life. But anyway, so we had a great time mini golfing, and we didn't want the night to